I do this every single damn time. And if the act itself isn't driving me crazy, the awareness of committing such a self-destructive act is, well, that is definitely, for sure, driving me crazy. My name is Crumbine. This is Emergency Creative, and a kind of ineffable desire for complexity is destroying my brain and ruining my life. I'm doing a movie podcast. I'm trying to make a new comic strip. I still want to do these videos, and for some reason, I'm also trying to learn how to play a musical instrument so that hopefully I can learn how to play another musical instrument. And yet, every step of the way, I find myself leaning into making things more complicated. One infuriating, idiotic way or another. And then everything just stops. Which is not to say there's anything wrong with stopping. Stopping is great. Quiet is fantastic. Detaching and being able to step away from the infuriating, mind-numbing stupidity of this world, well, I think that is essential. But I am unemployed right now. I have nothing but time, and when I am not working on something creative, my fucked up brain tells me I am a total abject failure at life. And if I'm not making any real money from the things that I create, especially right now, as I am not making money from a corporate gig, well, we can't get any more worthless than that in this here magical wonder of modern human achievement known as the creator economy. Good God, we have invented hell on earth as if all the other stupid shit humans have done hasn't been hellish enough. No, let's monetize hobbies. So things get complicated. I time block my schedule so there's a little structure to an otherwise amorphous day. I do a podcast about movies, and of course, I force it into being a much more expansive show about creativity with segments and updates that equally force myself and my podcast partner Sabino to be creative in other parts of our lives, whether we want to or not. And then I take 2 days to manually edit a 2-hour call down to an hour. I know the creative process has to be simple. It is hard enough to get started, and just a little bit of friction, the tiniest bit of complexity, can derail the train and crash your brain. Whether it's the project itself that becomes too bloated and complex, the podcast, or how I try to stack my projects and overproduce, webcomic instrument, vlogs. I am always making things too complicated. And I don't know how to stop. Because my brain is wired to solve problems, to want to solve problems, even if I have to create a problem in order just to solve it. And the more creative the problem is, the more I enjoy solving it. Episode 1 of the podcast is the solution to a problem. How do I build a show about creativity and movie discussions and make it feel like just hanging out with a couple of friends? The bigger problem becomes, what do I do after that first episode? That first episode solved the problem, that beautiful, complex, weird, creative conundrum. Done. Episode 2 and 3 refined the answer for sure into a tighter package. It made more sense, but, there you go. There is no more problem left to solve. Now this podcast is just work, which is unpaid and complex and boring in its own right. And after a while, it's not even actually creative anymore. The one thing my brain was craving. I guess I have to admit that I am absolutely a simple life minimalist enthusiast, because if I don't have that calming baseline, my brain gets fucked. So yeah, I can slow down. I have that base zero slow mode where it is relatively easy to embrace a basic life routine, a simple life routine, enjoy reading, riding my bike, and walking my dog. But I still have all of that time laid out in front of me. So why not also feel guilty about not being productive, whatever the fuck that means? I am not trying to be optimistic with this video or provide some grand, deep insight into the creative brain. I'm just trying to be real with you. And the reality is that complexity kills. It's also largely unavoidable. So, I don't know, maybe the trick is to keep that base zero simplicity in your heart as a value, always running ideas through that filter. How can this be made simpler? Accept that there are many ways that life gets complicated. And, again, I don't know, just do better? I need to accept that complexity will happen. I will root it out like a truffle pig, one way or another. My brain wants to solve complex creative problems. And maybe my default response, instead of succumbing to that bullshit sense of guilt for not being productive, instead, maybe I need to interrogate the idea and figure out how to do it as simply as possible and trust myself. That's a hard one. Trust myself when I know something is going to overwhelm me. Anyway, I'm trying to keep things simple, so that's all I've got. Let me know in the comments how complexity might be ruining your life, and yeah, we can be miserable together. Like and subscribe if you like liking and subscribing, and until next time, stay creative, friends. Or don't, especially if it is too complicated. you know?